Money Talks.
Money Talk.
Money Talks. Money Talks.
Hi, my name is Ibukun Oyedeji, President CFA Society Nigeria. Join me and a host of other financial industry practitioners for Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria.
Money Talks.
Money Talk.
Money Talks. Money Talks.
Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money. Hello everyone and welcome to Money Talks. Money Talks is brought to you by CFA Society Nigeria and is a financial literacy program. Smart. Uzechi is my name. You can call me Captain Smart and you will be financially correct. My guest on the program this evening is Sir Sam Onukwue. Sam Onukwue is the MD CEO of Mega Capital Group. He is currently the chairman of the Association of Securities Dealing Houses of Nigeria, ASHON. He's a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers as well as the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. This evening we're discussing encouraging participation of retail investors in the securities market. And as usual, we would like to welcome our guest in a very special way because it's his first time here on Money Talks. So ladies and gentlemen, let's stand up for Sir Sam Onukwue. Sir Sam, good evening and welcome to Money Talks.
Good evening.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah, you look good actually.
It's great to be here.
It's so good to have you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And how is work?
Very well, thank God.
Mm-hmm. For those of you out there, you can participate on the program fully by calling the telephone numbers 0700 923 923 923. That's 0700 923 923 923. You can also call 0817 313 6193. That's 0817 313 6193. That's the WhatsApp number. You can call the number on WhatsApp. You can send a WhatsApp message or a voice note to that number. If you have clarifications to seek or you have questions to ask, you want to make a contribution to the program, you're welcome to do that. We really crave your participation on the program this evening. You can also check out CFA Society on our website www.cfasocietyng.org or on social media on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and the likes. It's at CFA Society NG. That's how to do that. If you have further questions, and also there's some of the things you can get on the socials, on the website. For more details, you can go to that platform. Back here in the studio where Sir Sam Onukwue is seated comfortably, we will start our discussion this evening on encouraging participation on retail investors in the securities market. So, Sir Onukwue, let's start this conversation from you telling us who retail investors are, and to also tell us further if anyone, including artisans, can actually participate in the securities market, because the words sound big. Securities market.
Right. Thank you so much. Retail investors are really non-professional market participants and who generally invest small amounts than larger institutions. They are different from institutional investors, and at the very basic level, retail investors are individual investors who buy and sell securities such as stocks, bonds, and mutual funds through securities trading firms. Sometimes, in these days, they also buy online. You can trade online, as it were. Maybe in course of time, we'll explain that a little through those platforms. They are often distinguished from institutional investors, as I earlier said, such as pension funds, insurance companies, and so on and so forth. Individual investors with disposable income seeking to grow their wealth. These fall within this retail investors, and small business owners or enterprises also investing in various assets, and self-directed investors who want to manage their own portfolio. So these are Now you ask, should artisans, where does the artisan fall into? Artisans are skilled workers, of course, who provide or create handmade products, and such as craftsmen. And while artisans may invest in their own businesses or assets, they are not typically classified as retail investors if they invest in their own businesses. But the moment they start investing in stocks, in mutual funds, or buying securities on available platforms, then we can classify them as retail investors.
Okay, can you describe further what this securities market is really, and how anyone can participate in the market? Because sometimes when people hear securities, their minds can rush to security, just like you're talking about artisans now. So just briefly help us to describe this market.
All right, securities market, it's simply a platform where securities such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and other financial instruments are issued, bought, and sold. The platform provides a mechanism for companies to raise capital, and for investors to participate in capital formation, while companies also utilize the market for capital mobilization. So securities market can be divided into two. We have the primary market, we have the secondary market. In the primary market, this is where securities are issued by companies to raise capital, just like we have the recapitalization of banks, which is ongoing. Investors can buy directly from the issuers or these companies that issue shares, and then through, of course, recognized agreed parties like the issuing houses, stockbroking houses, and so on. So on the other hand, secondary market is where existing securities are traded among investors, those who want liquidity, those who want to buy and sell, and then get into other areas of investment. So that's the platform where they buy stocks and bonds and other instruments, and sell also on the stock exchanges, such as the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We also have the fixed income markets, where apart from the stock exchange, you have the FMDQ, you have the commodities market, you have the SCFE today, and so these are the platforms available for retail investors to buy and sell. And by so doing, the platforms provide capital formation and price discovery opportunities. When we talk of price discovery, we're talking of the interaction of demand and supply, and which, of course, that can also help in determining the appropriate pricing of securities in the market. Yeah.
In case you just joined us now, we are talking with Sir Sam Onukwue. He is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Mega Capital Group. We're discussing the subject, encouraging participation of retail investors in the securities market. If you have questions or you have contributions to make, please do call us on the telephone 0700 923 923 923. 0700 923 923 923. You can also send us messages on WhatsApp or call us via the WhatsApp number 0817 313 6193. That's 0817 313 6193. We'll really love you to participate here on the program. So, Sir Sam, the market has evolved over these many years. What, in your opinion, are those things that have improved inclusion for ordinary folks to participate in the market? Because year in, year out, or year on year, you see people who hitherto had no knowledge about these things you're talking about, but somehow you see them trickling into the market. Or what's happening?
Well, the market has truly evolved, as you mentioned. Before 2008, especially in the era of bank capitalization that like we have now. I mean, not too many people were aware, but that era brought a lot of created a lot of awareness amongst investors, and so that added to the efforts of market operators in educating potential investors to come into the market. After that, I know a lot of people lost interest in the market, but since then we have had a number of things, measures that have been taken to improve the access to the market, transparency in the market, and so on and so forth. So we have a strong regulatory environment. We have which at various levels. We have at the apex regulator level, that's the SEC. We have at the SRO level, that's the trade points or the platforms. We also have at the institute level, where adherence to professionalism, which is to promote, is strictly enforced. We also have the trade groups, such as ASHON, that regulate our own members and ensure that things are done properly. So these are some of the measures. Apart from that, we also have seen the emergence of technology that has made it possible for the younger generation, the Gen Alpha now that we call them,
Yes.
to participate in the market. We see that this generation would like to do everything on their phones. And so it's available. Something happened in the market before COVID. We had a great transformation in the market that around 2015, which also pointed to the evolution of our market when we adopted what we called minimum operating standard. That ensured that we raised the standard of digitization, and that ensured that that without even anticipating it during the COVID, that a lot of people participated in the market. The market never closed, and so people were doing their businesses from all parts of the world, wherever they are. Apart from the evolution of technology, there's also the availability of information in the market. Information is made available now at your fingertips. And then we also have a lot more other opportunities for people to diversify their investment, And so people are now seeing the openness, the transparency in the market, and they're encouraged to come into the market because of the level of professionalism that, way back in the days, we had a situation where around the stock exchange at the Daily Times building, we had another market there, unofficial market, but that does not exist today. So that's has brought a lot of transparency, a lot of confidence in the way things are done. You can trade and get your alerts. You can access your accounts wherever you are. You can monitor your accounts. You can even trade on your own now. So a lot of measures have been taken to inspire confidence, and rekindle, bring back. So we're appealing to a lot of those who are yet to come into the market. That look, you have a great opportunity to participate in it.
And as you did allude, a lot of people lost their money at that time when the stock market crashed, so to speak. Was it that they lost their money, or was there anything that was done to at least help them to cut their losses? Because I'm sure they had children that time. Some of them may have had teenagers who witnessed them lose their life savings. I'm sure it would have discouraged them from ever playing in that sector. Was there anything that was done to salvage the situation at the time?
One of the things we have always advised investors is to approach investment professionals and seek professional advice. We had a situation where for some people, the mere fact that somebody have heard that a company is issuing shares without even considering whether they will be listed or not, they rush to buy in the hope that the company will come to the market and they make a lot of money. So we have always advised that investors should seek professional advice and ensure that you invest in the regulated market. We've seen a lot of things, but those are no longer happening today. And I believe that the measures taken have been protective enough. Even at that, investing in the market, those who invested before 2008 had the investment there, who invested in quoted listed companies, they had the investment there. Over time, we've seen prices double, we've seen prices increase phenomenally, from what they were at the time. We've seen shares that were, say, 50 kobo that came down as low as 50 kobo, or even below that threshold. Return back to become so highly priced today. Without mentioning any company here, there are companies that were selling for less than 100 that today got, at some point in time, got over 1,000.
Wow.
And so it requires some patience and understanding. And before you speculate, please seek advice.
Absolutely. The number to call if you want to join the conversation here, 0700-923-923-923. That's 0700-923-923-923. You can also call 0817-313-6193. That's 0817-313-6193. Encouraging participation of retail investors in the securities market. Everything around the stock market. You can ask your questions here this evening or make contributions according to your experience. Perhaps you're having some difficulties trying to enter into this market that Sam Onukwue is talking about here. You can pick his brain this evening by calling to ask a question. Just send a message on WhatsApp. That will be good as well. So Sir Sam, there are some retail investors as well that have come together to form what they now call shareholder associations. What are the functions of these types of associations, and how do they help these retail investors in question?
Well, for the shareholders associations, they didn't just come together. They were allowed by some encouraged rather to get involved in shareholder activism. And the reasons are very obvious. Today we have a number of them operating in the market. They are formed basically to protect shareholders' rights and foster communication and education and promote advocacy among themselves. We have seen that in certain instances they have been able to ensure that companies adhere to good corporate governance. And because when they go to these meetings, they raise governance issues where they suspect that something is not right, and they hold directors accountable. And do you remember that the AGM of a company is the only opportunity that shareholders have to come together? So the agency, what they call the agency theory, where you have the managers running the the company on behalf of the owners. The real owners are the shareholders. No matter how little their interest, they have interest. So it's at the AGM they give account of their stewardship, and this is the only opportunity shareholders have to hold them to account. And they've been quite useful in the market, and as I said, they encourage companies to adopt best practices in corporate governance. And that helps also to promote transparency in financial reporting. A lot you see them picking holes and raising issues on the financial statement of companies. Generally, they amplify the collective voice of shareholders, enabling them to influence company decision. There are certain provisions of the law that require that certain things be disclosed, and if those issues are not raised, the directors, as responsible as they may overlook those things. So I think they have been very useful, and the shareholder associations have been truly very useful. But we also believe that they should be kind of regulated. You know, there has to be some regulatory oversight. You know, to ensure that they keep to the rules of their engagement.
Because Nigerians like associations. Before you know it, they have started this group, and before you know it, there'll be leadership tussles and all of that. According to much data that is out there, you know, from varying sources, those data have it that over 70% of the Nigerian population are under the age of 25. That's why they said the Nigerian population is mostly youthful. Most of these people have not heard of securities market. So how can this crucial segment of the society be encouraged to start saving and investing toward their future? Because this market is about the future.
True. That's very true. It's all about the future. And we are lucky in this country that we have vibrant, what we call the Gen Z.
Yeah.
You know, on our part as capital market operators, in collaboration with under the guidance of our main regulator, we have always engaged in investor education. And indeed, the market takes that very seriously, given the low level of investors in the market compared with even the banking sector or in other jurisdictions. What do we need to do? We have said that there is need to incorporate financial literacy into some school curricula, secondary school at various levels, and so as to begin to build that culture in that people of that age. We have also encouraged that we have workshops, and from time to time we have our members join other groups, you know, to organize even on their own. We have some of our members organize
Okay, so
financial literature.
We'll just have to hold your thought there. Okay. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, Captain Smart, good evening, sir.
Yes, thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, good evening to your guest. This is James Obona from Oshodi.
Yes.
Well, we have network. I've been trying to call since. I think it's not going through.
We're very sorry about that.
I want to ask a question. He was saying something about when shares go down, sometimes after some time the share value will later pick up or something. So I want to find out, sir, is it advisable, because currently I have shares in three of the banks, and one of the network companies I also sold shares, which I also bought, but I noticed that one went down. So I want to find out, is it advisable that when you have shares that the value has gone down, you just hold on and just wait and see if it will eventually pick up, or you just sell off the shares when you notice that the share value has gone down? That's my question, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Well, what I said was that if you're investing in the market, the basic truths of the market is that it's all about risk and return. You are taking some risk, you know, you're expecting some return. So the level of risk you take will also determine the level of return. But in terms of the upward and downward movement of shares, it's normal. It's normal for that to happen in the market. It's not bound to go up all the time, and it's not bound to go down all the time. The price is determined by a number of things, you know, including the basic ones, demand and supply, and of course the fundamentals of the company. And so that's why we encourage that you talk to your stockbroker or investment advisor. You talk to the investment professionals to guide you. So on a case-by-case basis, they will advise whether you should sell or buy. That's what I will advise John.
And there's a question here.
James, rather.
This question here says, good evening. I heard the NGX The NGX is considering increasing the daily price limit from 10% to 20%. Wouldn't there be volatility? Though there are opportunities for more returns. And this is Henry, is listening from Owerri.
Well, we can't speculate on what NGX is about to do. If NGX takes that, decides to do that, all factors would have been considered. And I can tell you that the NGX as an SRO, as well as the operators, will, and indeed the regulators will always do what is in the interest. In all of what we do, the interest of the investor is uppermost. And I think if they decide to do so, it will be in the interest of the market. We can't speculate on what they're doing at the moment.
All right. Sam Onukwue, just very quickly, we're very grateful if you can answer this question just in 45 seconds. I want you to tell us the means of resolving disputes, because this is a marketplace, and in a marketplace, there must be disputes. When these disputes arise, what do retail investors do when they come to this, and then the service providers as well, when there's a clash?
There are established processes of dispute resolution in the market, and we have, if the dispute is between investors and capital market operators, they are at liberty. If investors are at liberty to approach, first to report to the stock exchange, the stock exchange regulation, the NGX rather, regulation. They will do their investigation. In fact, the first step is for capital market operators to try to resolve the issues between them and their clients. Beyond that, they could report to the NGX if they are not satisfied, and if they are also not satisfied, if the NGX they are not satisfied at that level, they can go up to IST, the Investment and Securities Act. So that process is well established and have been used by very many. And I can tell you, in recent times, that has been significantly reduced because of the level of transparency and the level of professionalism in the market today. But for any reason, any dispute arises, they have the opportunity to seek a redress.
Sir Sam Onukwue is the Managing Director, CEO of Mega Capital Group, and is currently the chairman of the Association of Securities Dealing Houses of Nigeria, ASHON. He's been our guest on the program, Money Talks, this evening, and we've been talking about encouraging participation of retail investors in the securities market. Sir Onukwue, thank you very much for your time on the program this evening. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
We hope to see you again very soon.
Thank you.
That's our package. Please do join us again another time. Till that time, keep making finance a force for good. I am Captain Smart. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Money Talks, hosted by the CFA Society Nigeria. Stay connected with us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube at CFA Society Nigeria. Follow us for more financial insight and updates. Keep a date with us next time.